How does it start? The 80s and 90s. Squatting. Amsterdam. David K. Smith, person who wrote it all down. Maybe not all. Maybe just enough. Enough to matter in Brussels. Enough to still matter now. What can architecture students learn from it? What can users of buildings learn from it? The site of investigation to answer some of these questions and pose 100 more. A campus. What does it mean to care about architecture? What does it mean to care about a building? Is there a difference? Can these ideas be tested on campus by students? Will they be supported or hindered? The layers of inquiry, from largest to smallest, the surroundings, the building, and the objects within them. The connecting layer, an abandoned building just next door, a locked door, possibility of access, if one can find ways to acquire a key. In a place of marvels that inspires and provides means for invention, actualizing dreams, not as art installations, but to an extent that is tested by living in them. Why another building? What do you think of this one? What about the perfectly functional one you already have? Perfectly functional? Where can students actually work? Does anyone know? Present momentness still needs a plan, and there are always emails waiting to be sent. Official sites were contacted, access was denied. There is no way, you cannot go in. Not all emails are read, some are left unread, or maybe they got lost. Respect and care, everything had a place. Some things found a new place, carefully documented, so if need be, they could be returned. Or maybe the space these objects once occupied could be taken up by something coming into existence for the very first time. A place to work, a place to talk, to ask questions. The ideas presented are not original. They are not supposed to be. Past efforts show the fascination a vacant space can evoke. Or maybe it is frustration created by stagnation. When something is done, someone might notice and ask questions. Who has been making changes and why? A good response. A solution. You may continue for now, if you know who to ask. Does anyone know who to ask? At some point, something changed. There was a group, and then it became something more. Because everything happening now is just a continuation of something that already happened a long time ago. From Amsterdam to Brussels, what can squatting do? Changed laws then. A table, a chair, a bed equaled residential use. Something changed now. A table, a chair, an outlet could give space to create anywhere. First-time objects are the norm in the silo. Things are made and found in a very immediate way that conveys the present moment of the act. Continual confrontation with such active objects is exhausting. Such objects behave their being, their making, and their use, actively and continually signaling these. There is nothing especially original about the majority of silo objects and arrangements except this present momentness, a characteristic of things made in real time, state of attention, action, as economically as present means allowed, with no style, skill, or finish excessive to the need, not only their behavior freed, falling in their curve of gravity, warping with the visible grain, showing the impact of the hammer. But untrussed by taste and tidiness, their forms are more complex, unpredictable, and various, more efficient projection screens for potential fantasies. Thus, the silo is physically and psychically eventful. A change of relationship to the building. When is someone a user? When an owner? What does it mean to be a caretaker? When do you feel connected to a space? There were millions of moths, and thick dust was everywhere. One could see rats all over the place. They were not afraid at all. They peacefully coexisted until it was cleaned, then left. That spring, they cleaned the building, a task that it was said was inevitably a commitment test. A plan not confined to the inside. There is space outside. A garden hidden behind years of plans that were to be realized very soon. When is soon? Can it be now? There's so much already there. What can be used that is already there? Can it stay where it is, but just be different? The old silo was a resource mine, especially of metal. As the building was cleared and its installations dismantled, materials and objects were released for use in sale. Boats full of metal, especially unweldable cast iron, were sold to scrap dealers. The useful and beautiful pieces were kept. For a few years, all the ground floor store spaces were full of metal, ladders, tools, chains, belting, etc. More plans. It needs to be usable. It needs to be reversible. But what really defines reversible? A very subjective term. And more plans. Again, done by others. Seeking connections of spaces. Indoor and outdoor. Seeking to connect people to people. People to spaces. Unrealized. Maybe now realized. A start? People need to know that something is changing. How will they know? How will they know that this is their space too? How to let people know when no one is supposed to know? Not everything has to be done in secret. Some terrains are there to be used, officially, free to be changed, or maybe even that is too far. Just keep working. It can stop at any time. After all, there is a garden behind the wall. Behind the wall, a garden? Something familiar. More than a phrase. This is not serious. This is very serious. Our canopy got blown away?
Or worse, it got removed.
I can fix it. Can you bring me the rope?
Yeah, just getting the rope from the garden.
Hey! You were not allowed to be there!
Actually, we have permission to be here.
No, you don't!
What do we do now? I don't know. Let's wait for Taha.
Our action is in everyone's best interest, and we have an agreement to do our work. We have 1 week left till our jury.
Your building. Under no circumstances. You cannot have permission.
Look, maybe I can give some calls to clarify the situation.
I hope we can convince them to let us to continue to work.
Sounds like Taha is convincing them to cooperate with us.
They said they'll call Dark and will talk to us again afterwards. This is why student action doesn't work.
It's the hierarchy. It always is.
Maybe they're upset we insulted their roles?
We should maybe get in touch with Taha.
I'll write him a message. How about this? Blah, 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 blah.
Wait, shh. I think they're coming near.
Money! Look what they have done!
I mean, it is cleaner than it was before.
We need to stop these students now!
Due to safety reasons, you cannot use the building anymore, and you have to remove the path
No more
from the Mirab
access.
Terrace.
What about the rest? We need to finish the railing. If not, the whole structure is unsafe. You might as well let us make it safe. And also, we need to clean and take our tools out. Also, our canopy fell. Do you want us to put it back? Do you want us to remove it? Like, what should we do?
What about our jury? It's next week.
You cannot do any more works. We will deal with the safety of your interventions. But maybe we can negotiate for the jury. Robin's or Peter's plans required too much finance. But this might be different. We might take some things in consideration for the campus's future plans. I am sure you will still get good grades.
This is not serious. This is very serious. This is not temporary. This is temporary. This is not safe. Does anyone know why? The silo is a zone of traps, minor and major hazards, from a bruise to death. A bruised head from a low steel lintel to tripping on a proud board and plunging 20 meters through a gap in the room's floor. The threat of danger, at least before complete familiarity with the terrain, which however is always changing, at least in small ways, makes one attend to one's body, its movements and surroundings, adding a dimension of awareness unusual in habitual living, a state of enhanced sensations and vitality of being. They are indications that some at least enjoy the hazards, retaining open deadly ducts and holes, unprotected hoist shafts, absent portions of floor, spidery and insecure ladders, as well as building in bizarre locations, platforms intruding over the voids of silos, colonizing towers, socializing the roofs like cats, scaling the walls. There have been accidents and falls, none fatal. Not everything has to stay the same. It was done before. Something needs to conform to stay unconforming. What is safety, outside of regulations and laws? Where do you feel safe, and what happens when it all stops? Will it be better? Will it be safer? What would need to change? The right to the campus is far more than the individual liberty to access university resources. It's a right to change ourselves by changing the campus. It is, moreover, a common rather than an individual right, since this transformation inevitably depends upon the exercise of a collective power to reshape the processes of education. The freedom to make and remake our campus and ourselves is, we want to argue, one of the most precious yet most neglected of our student rights. A campus has the capability of providing something for everybody, only because and only when it is created by everybody. You will still get good grades. Does it matter anymore? It's not your building. But is it?